This video shall serve for initial installation ideas, and then also for the novice user of this machine of how to thread labels into it. So from starters, when you get the machine, of course you will have to mount the fixing with the dispenser on the machine, as we will take this off for shipping purposes and package it up separate. And in order to do that, of course, we will be removing the wire from the label sensor. And as you can see, the wire of the label sensor is hooked into this little channel. Now the label material is going to come down from this way, goes around the dispense edge, comes back up here and goes up to the deviation roller. What I frequently notice when I get to a customer after the fact, after the initial installation, I frequently notice how this thing is actually being plugged in any which way, like this, just not the way it's meant to be, which is being held on in this channel. Pull enough so it's long enough. Let's first plug it in, I suppose. Screw it tight. And we just push it into this channel here. So that will keep it out of the way, and the labels cannot really get caught on it. Same goes for the product sensor, which we're going to unscrew, and the wire is just going to dangle somewhere, or we tie it up somewhere. But of course you need to reconnect that as well. Now let's come to threading the label head. Of course you see a threading diagram right here on the machine. That is very self-explanatory. I mean, just following that will make it very easy to thread this machine. But just as a little tip, because I see everything all over the place, people sometimes struggle with simple things. For example, I mean, if you have the machine set for production, you take one label roll out and you want to load a different label and you keep the dispenser where it is right now, well, you're just simply going to struggle. So personally, what I'm going to do, I go to the rear of the machine and I crank the label head up a bit so I can get my fingers underneath the dispense edge, and threading of that label is much easier. So the way we start, we put the label machine in here. And this knob, as you of course will also notice, is tightening so shoes up against the label roll. You don't want to tighten that yet, because you want to be able to freely pull material off from it, okay? So we go around the rollers, just like the diagram will show you. And now the tricky part is always the dispense edge. Now right here you have to make sure that the label also goes through the through the label sensor, just like so. Now we can pull it from the other side. You need quite a long leader. Something like this. And we go around the deviation rollers. Crimp roller needs to be open, of course. So now we can see how the leader is actually still too short, because we need to go underneath the dancer arm, and then we need to have at least one rotation for itself to crimp on it. And this is why we leave this roller also still open. So we just pull a little bit more paper out. 3 lengths will probably do. All right. Now you see these little pins on the take-up reel. You can put the paper under. And while the machine is still off, we spin it around one rotation and it will crimp on itself. So make sure to close the crimp roller. And now it's time to close the shoes, to close the reel here. That wants to be now only moving with the actual machine. So now it's locked. So now we can reach to the rear and turn the machine on. The machine will cycle itself on now, and you can go from there.